Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I wanted to do a video about the top 10 most loyal fan bases in college football. So I did a top 10 best fan bases, and then loyalty was kind of one aspect of it, but this is going to be pretty much a different list. This is just based purely off loyalty, passion, that sort of thing. So go ahead and start with my honorable mentions. First one is Auburn. So obviously a pretty loyal fan base. They've had to sit through a rough season this year. Last year didn't go so hot either, but, Jordan-Hare Stadium still sells out most games this year, even when they do bad. Alright, second one is Texas A&M. It doesn't need to be said, or not much needs to be said about this. Just not just to the football team, but just in general, very, very, very loyal fan base to the school. If you go to the school, you have to take a class on Texas A&M history. That's one of the few schools I've ever even heard of that. So, alright, third one is Texas. Obviously one of the biggest fan bases in the country. Again, this isn't based on biggest or best, it's just most loyal. So Texas is obviously up there. They obviously do well in merchandise sales, ticket sales, that sort of thing. Obviously they're down point right now, so the fan base isn't as strong as it once was. But they still do have quite a little fan base that sticks around. Fourth one is OU. Now, you don't really know how they haven't really gone through a stretch recently like Texas is going through right now, so it's hard to tell how loyal they would be without constant top 25 teams and winning. But still, if you had to give a team on the verge of that top 10 list, I'd probably give it to OU. All right, so number 5 is Wisconsin. Kind of a fan base has been pretty tortured over the last, I'd say, 10 years. Come very close to winning a few big games, Big Ten championships, but never really came up. Really never came up big. Obviously, they got railed last year against Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. The Rose Bowl loss to Oregon also comes to mind. But you know what? They still stick around. Camp Randall Stadium is obviously jumping every single game day weekend they have there. So, moving into my top 10 list. Number 10, got Alabama. I want to put them higher, but I just really feel like Alabama, if they just started losing, they'd lose a lot of their fan base. It's probably one of the top 5 most bandwagon fan bases in college football, which is why they're further down the list on loyalty. Again, I know that if a lot of people watch this, it's going to take some heat for it, but that's just this is my personal opinion. All right, number 9 got Penn State. So the fact that they still got a loyal fan base sticking around after what happened there, after a couple losing seasons, shows a lot. Number 8, I've got Florida. Again, kind of the same deal. They still got a solid fan base after all the losing season, one losing season, and then a couple harsh seasons before and after that. But they're starting to look a little bit better now under Jim McElwain. All right, number 7, I got Tennessee. So for the fact that they can still sell out that stadium when they're basically as mediocre as teams come in the SEC right now, shows a lot to me. They do have a very solid fan base over there. Number 6, I've got LSU. So obviously one of the more loyal fan bases in the country. You could say it is a little bit bandwagon. They're a little bit annoying, but they still are very loyal and passionate. Number 5, we've got Georgia. Now, this might be the most tortured fan base of any team in the league. Extreme expectations every year. Just fired their coach. But not just the fans, the entire city just basically locks down for game day. It's pretty cool seeing all around Athens. All right, so number 4, I got Michigan. This might be the most overall loyal fan base of college sports in the country. I don't know about college football, but they've endured quite a few tough seasons the last few years, and again, they're kind of being rewarded, kind of like Michigan or kind of like Florida now. So number 3, I've got Nebraska. I believe they sold out every game since 1967, and with the team they have now, that says an awful lot. It kind of goes back to not having a professional team in Nebraska or even really close to Nebraska, but with the fact that they've stuck around through a couple years of decent to mediocre teams, says a lot. Like I said, one of the most loyal fan bases in the country. So number 2, I've got Notre Dame. It's not really just a fan base, it's more of an icon. Again, not much to say about this. They could be losing a ton, and they kind of did through the late 2000s that time, and right before 2012. But, like I said, fans still stuck around. They always will. Number 1, got Ohio State. Obviously, they have quite a following right now just because they won the national championship. But even before that, they will always have a loyal following. You're born in Ohio, you're born in Buckeye, kind of like you're born in Oklahoma, you're born a Sooner. There's a few different states that go that way, but it's one of those states where it's very heavily followed. You know, it doesn't matter if you really went to the college. I'd say it's more followed than either the Bengals or the Browns. And yeah, so that concludes my list. Pretty short list, and I'll put the links to my other top 10 lists in the description below. So, like I said, I have done some similar lists, so I'll put those links in the description. Also going to put the links to my Instagram and Twitter account in the description below, or just the handles. I did get a new Twitter opened and kind of been trying to revamp my Instagram a little bit. I didn't really take any time off of it, but hadn't really updated the whole profile in a little while. So go over and give those a follow. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, if you watched my previous video, I believe the college football pick'em video and then the streak for the cash. If you watch the end of the college football pick'em and then the streak for the cash video, the sound was lacking. My basically my computer screen recorder, the audio went out for that. So I'm gonna try to fix that before I do my next recording video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.